Okay. All right. Me. You ready to go? All right, here we go. Boom! Shot out of a cannon. You ready? Why are your eyes closed already? You know, I got a bone to pick with you. Last week, end of our show, here we are, talking about wrestling. At the end of it, you finally gave me a too sweet, but when I watched the video back, this is what I see. Now, in what way is that a real too sweet? That was garbage.
It's hard.
You can't do a little better than that?
No.
That's the best too sweet you could do.
Yes.
If you didn't want to do it, just don't do it. Maybe today will be the day you'll give me an enthusiastic, like with your face and...
Yeah.
You think it'll happen? We'll try it at the end of the show. We'll see what happens. Okay. Anyway, here we go. On to another week of wrestling. Of course, we... as per usual, I watched tons more wrestling than you did. I watched a lot of New Japan, Ring of Honor. I mean, I have stuff to do. You don't have to go to work 12 hours a day. You could enjoy life like me sometimes. Anyway, but the wrestling you did watch was Raw and SmackDown. First thing I guess we want to talk about, the big story of the week, is how Becky Lynch was presented on television this week. Mm-hmm. When you watched it, between Raw and SmackDown, the thing with Stephanie at the beginning of Raw and then the thing with Triple H at the beginning of SmackDown, what did you think of it? How did you feel about it?
I thought it was interesting. Whenever I saw on Raw with the Becky Lynch and the Stephanie stuff, I thought more of Austin and Vince stuff.
Sure.
I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting. I didn't really care for the Triple H part, like the Becky Lynch, you're just faking it stuff. Thought that was kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to bury your babyface, your number one babyface?
I think it's sort of a lesson they learned from Daniel Bryan. Like if they say rotten things and seem like as a company they're for real trying to hold a person back from being the top. The fans want this person to be on top.
Yeah.
So let's try to rip that away from them and then ultimately give it to them at WrestleMania. I think that's sort of what we're getting here. Mm-hmm. So I liked it. I liked all of it. I think there's ton more upward mobility with this Stephanie and
Becky stuff.
And Becky stuff. I think there's where the real money is.
Yeah.
Not as much with Triple H because how much can Triple H really do to her?
Right.
Other than just
words. Did you enjoy the Ronda Rousey stuff after the Stephanie stuff with like the ice and Tylenol B word?
Yeah, I think that it's the direction of Ronda's character right now is the correct decision.
Okay.
Instead of fighting against the way the crowd is reacting, embracing it, and still, I mean, she's not really turning heel per se, but she's, being gritty and being, she's obviously not the number one babyface right now. So I think it's good. I was good with it. How'd you feel about it?
I don't know. I guess I understand what you're saying, but if you want her to be your babyface in the company, like if you want her to be kind of like the face of the women's revolution, I don't know. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know you didn't live through it. I mean, you lived through it, but you were like, 3 months old really when a lot of the Stone Cold stuff happened. But it feels sort of very similar to Stone Cold. I think, they have made a few missteps with Becky. I think that her tapping out to Asuka, to me, was a misstep. I don't think her losing to Asuka was a misstep. I think tapping out to Asuka was a misstep. I think that Asuka could have just kicked her in the head and pinned her and 1, 2, 3. Because as Stone Cold was elevating, he certainly had some losses on the way. And I think that, it's in some ways it's important for a babyface to lose a few matches, so it's fine. But... I don't know. I didn't love that. I didn't think that, that we talked about it last week. I didn't love that part of it. And I think you're going to think I'm nuts, but I think there's a way for Becky to lose at Mania and still be okay. Mm-hmm. and push it to SummerSlam or even Survivor Series. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I really do believe that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think that, the smart money's probably on Becky winning at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
But, as of late, you never know. Look at what they did with Roman Reigns. It felt like he was going to be the guy so many times, and they just didn't. So maybe, they're going to pull the same nonsense with Becky Lynch. I think probably a lot of it has to do with where her contract falls out. So, boy, you're tired tonight, huh?
I am tired.
Why do you want to work so hard for? All right, well, obviously you're bored of the Becky Lynch conversation. Let's move on to our probably personal favorite wrestler, mine at least, yours as well, Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they're building toward this Elimination Chamber. They have 6 guys in it, including... I like the way they presented Samoa Joe. He really seemed like... a world beater, I think.
I feel like they've done that several times, though, where they present Samoa Joe as this guy that can take out anybody, and then he just
does it.
He does it, yeah.
I mean, they did that with Kane for his whole career, essentially. Like, he beat up everybody on Raw and SmackDown and just smashed people, but then it'd come time for pay-per-view, and, he never won. Like, there was a run one time where he was main event in pay-per-view, consecutively for a long time, and somehow never won the match.
Oh, man.
It was just flip-flop and somehow still not win the title. And, yeah, it was crazy. And he was a heel the whole time. So
yeah,
a little bit of that with Samoa Joe. I still think, though, that, he's positioned okay. I mean, he could still come through and, if they ever decided to put the title on him, I think that it would be credible.
Yeah.
I mean, am I a jerk? Am I just a complete jerk? I know I've said this before, but every time I see Mustafa Ali on television, I just don't care. And the only time I cared a little bit this Tuesday because I was blown away at the sheer size difference of him and Randy Orton. I even rewound it and it was look at this. Look at the size of these guys comparatively to each other. I just feel like there's so many better guys I could have picked for the 6th guy. Nakamura, Rusev, Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
When I think up and down the roster of the guys that could have been in there instead.
Do you have any idea, did he cut a good promo? Vince see a good match? Do you?
Well, I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, to play the race card. And it's not really playing the race card. But, I mean, it's smart business by Vince McMahon. He's always sort of done it. He wants to have different ethnicities featured on his program because, especially now more than ever, it's a global product. Yeah. So, I'm still blown away that they have not found a way, because they're on in China now, to not have a prominently featured Chinese superstar. Mm-hmm. If I was Vince, I would figure that out, even if it meant I'm putting somebody on there that's not really even super ready yet. I knew they had that girl from NXT on there on the Royal Rumble, but I mean, it's good business, and it's just speculation. I don't know that for sure, but I mean, tell me about other characters that are like Mustafa Ali on television right now. There's not, and I think it's good business. For me personally, I don't want to sound like that white guy, but for me, I don't look at wrestlers and say, oh, that's that guy's Asian. Or that guy. I'm only interested, do they entertain me?
Yeah.
I never think Nakamura, well, they should push him because he's Chinese or Japanese.
Right.
I think they should push Nakamura because when given adequate time, there's nobody like him in the ring in the world. He's so fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't push Jinder Mahal because he's Indian. I think don't push Jinder Mahal because to me he's boring and atrocious in the ring. I mean, God bless him, he's a giant and he's in great shape, but there's been lots of those guys over the years that just don't do much for me visually to see them in the ring. And I'm not saying same thing with Becky Lynch. I don't see her and say, oh, push her because she's a woman. I think push her because people love her and they want to pay to see her.
Yeah.
So, but with Mustafa Ali, I just can't get it. Am I in the wrong here? Do you get it at all?
His wrestling's kind of cool, but I haven't seen really any promos that I've been blown away by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just, he doesn't do much for me. I wish Nakamura or Rusev could have been in that 6th spot. You think there's any way that anybody other than Daniel Bryan comes out of that Elimination Chamber with the title?
No.
I don't think so either. I mean, they got him this new belt. It seems like it's got to be a WrestleMania thing. I feel like I don't have a lot of predictions on matches at WrestleMania. I think we know 2 right now. I know we're a long way off yet.
Yeah.
We have a whole pay-per-view to get through, but I mean, my gut tells me obviously we have Seth and Brock Lesnar, and we have Becky and Ronda Rousey, but I still have a feeling that match is going to be turned into a triple threat. We'll have to wait and see.
Becky Lynch and...
Yeah, Flair's going to get thrown into that thing before it's said and done. And that's going to be your main event, that triple main event.
Then who's going to face Asuka?
I don't know. It's a good question. It
you
could
don't think
be...
that they'll have a rematch of Charlotte versus Asuka?
I don't. No. Nope, they've not invested much time in Asuka.
Yeah.
I mean, how much time do they see her on television for her to get that big of a match on?
Well, I mean, she has the title.
So does Nakamura has the U.S. title. How much time?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we didn't talk about... Did we talk about that last week? Yeah, we did. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's how important the U.S. title is. I can't even remember who has it anymore. But, like, I don't know. They throw these titles around like they don't mean much, and it's sort of insulting. And I don't think... Asuka's not even a top 6 woman on television right now, and she's a SmackDown champion, which I think is sort of minimizes the value of a belt.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you want to move on? Anything else you want to add to that? Do you think anybody? How do you feel? If you were to say, so we both sort of agree Daniel Bryan's winning. If you were going to say, but there's a chance this guy will win, who would you say?
Nobody.
You don't think AJ?
No, I
No
don't.
chance at Randy Orton?
No, I don't. But I did hear something interesting. That Randy Orton was interested in going to All Elite Wrestling. Did you hear that?
No, but it seems like everybody's interested in that. I mean, to me, I saw it somewhere on the internet. Until they have an actual show, they're just a T-shirt company. I mean, I haven't seen a show. I haven't seen them advertise a live event. I haven't seen them advertise a television deal. I haven't seen any of that. So to me, right now, they're just a T-shirt company, and good for them. They're selling lots of T-shirts. But yeah, I don't know. It's go there for what? to do what? Not to wrestle, that's for sure. Last thing, let's jump into this Kurt Angle thing. They sort of tilted it towards the fact that Kurt Angle was getting ready to retire and going to announce his retirement, and then they shot that all down. And as a result, the main event of Raw was Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle versus Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. How did you feel about how all that worked out and how all that played out?
I liked that it tied into last week because I mean it did tie in, but I don't understand why, and I didn't like the idea of him coming out and announcing his retirement. Like, I don't know. I know it was so long ago and I was so young whenever Flair and Shawn Michaels had their match, but I liked the if you lose, you're fired, or you retire match. And, like, I thought, I mean, why not do that instead of just having them come out and... Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's retiring, though.
No, I don't either. But, I mean, it just felt weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a shame. I mean, when someone was as great as Kurt Angle, and now they're sort of just... going through the motions, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird way of looking at it. Some people probably think, well, you're still getting to see his greatest hits.
Yeah.
Like going to see, Kenny Rogers or somebody like that. They don't have any new songs, but you still go to hear The Gambler or whatever. I think that's probably out of touch for you, but I think you know who Kenny Rogers is. He sells the chickens.
I don't know that one.
Okay. He has a chicken restaurant, I guess. But, yeah, so maybe people feel that way about it. I'm of the opinion like he's holding a spot for somebody else that is maybe a little more deserving. So now we're sort of getting the same thing with Jeff Jarrett. We're getting a multiple week angle with him. And
Jeff Jarrett is going to continue to come, or you think that angle is done?
I hope not.
You hope not?
I hope he doesn't come back. I mean,
what about the Road Dogg?
Just be in the back, ruining SmackDown, as Elias said. So.
You didn't enjoy the singing?
Did you?
No.
All right then. What's the problem here? I don't know. People like it though. I mean, there's no doubt though. In wrestling, people love nostalgia acts.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I think that I like to see these guys. I'll change my content. I like to see guys like Jeff Jarrett come out and do a quick promo, and then getting smashing somebody with a guitar or getting smashed with a guitar. I like to see Kurt Angle cut a promo, get hit with a big move, or do the Angle Slam. I don't need to see these guys wrestle in 15-minute matches.
And do it to, like, the jobbers. Do it to, like, Heath Slater.
Poor Heath Slater. Don't he deserve a push? Poor Heath Slater. Yeah, that little three-man band. Did anybody ever thought that his career would be he was the leader, now he's in the tank. Poor Heath Slater.
Hey.
He's got kids.
He's got money, though. I mean, he's happy with his life.
I guess so. But, man, he'd probably be a little happier to have that main event spot. So.
I don't know. I think he's pretty happy with his spot.
All right. Good enough.
Not on the show every night, enjoying your body. I think it's a pretty good spot to be in.
Yeah. You're not working, you're not making as much money, though, either, so.
I'm sure he travels every time, and I'm sure that...
Yeah.
So, I'm sure he's still getting money.
Okay.
Maybe not as much, but...
All right, so we're just, a week and a half now out from the Elimination Chamber. We'll be back again. We're going to watch some wrestling on Monday and Tuesday, and back again here on Wednesday night. This is, I guess we're all repped. We're trying our switch again. It seems like if I look out of the corner of my eye, it looked like it worked pretty good this time. Seemed like it's going to work. We'll have to see if the sound matches up with the video. If not, we're just going to get this straight on feed again. We're going to see what's happening. But in hopes that this thing works, how about a little too sweet?
No.
Huh?
No.
What if the world was burning and this is the only thing? If you gave me a super excited too sweet, would you give it to me? Come on.
No.
Too sweet!